because a lot of people that I deal with have leaky gut or
Mhm.
dysbiosis, but then they're also gaining weight and they don't understand why. And it might not be just the fact that they're not able to break down their foods and they're bloated, but they're actually recycling that estrogen that is enhancing the weight gain. So it's once again a vicious cycle. And it just goes back to the body is so complicated and in this intricate system. And it's not about calories in, calories out. It's not about just going to the gym for an extra hour a day. It's all of these little things that you've got to tweak and really find what's going on. So that takes me back to, let's talk about what are the symptoms of estrogen dominance.
Yeah, I mean, symptoms are everything. It does help give us an idea and pinpoint. But yeah, I realized when I was looking at all the different symptoms, because there's a lot, and there can also be overlap with the symptoms of estrogen dominance to other conditions. But I pulled out like what are the five top symptoms, like the telltale signs. The first one is irregular periods. So, and this applies to women, that are still cycling, that still have their periods, but also women as they start going through menopause, they'll start to get the irregular periods. And that's because the first hormone to decline is progesterone. And so when women are experiencing irregular periods, we should be having a period about every 28 days, plus or minus a couple days. So plus or minus 2, 3 days. But if you're not having a regular period, one month you have a 30-day cycle, the next is a 42-day cycle, the next time is a 35-day cycle. It's just kind of like all over the place. It's not regular. That is not normal. Now, it's normal as you start to go through menopause, obviously, because your hormones are declining, your body's not producing them. But if you're still cycling and that's happening, you definitely want to get checked out. So that's the first symptom. The second one is really heavy periods. And that's because estrogen is responsible to thicken what's called the endometrial lining, which is this lining right inside our uterus. And that's because we are biologically made to get ready for pregnancy, to have a baby every month. And so it will thicken that lining. And so if pregnancy does not occur, we shed that endometrial lining. So when there's a lot of estrogen in the system, it really causes a thick endometrial lining. And so women will experience really heavy bleeds. So on average, we should be changing out like 6 to 8 tampons or pads per day. But if women are changing out more than that and it's like really soaked through, like it's normal to have a heavy period the first day or two, but still changing out 6 to 8, pads or tampons. However, if you're changing out 10, 12, and there's completely soaked through and it's lasting more than a couple days, that's not normal either. Plus, also having a lot of clots, like the size of like quarters, that's not normal either. So that just means there's a lot of estrogen in the system. So that's the second sign. The third sign is PMS. And that's because whether women are going through menopause or even while they're still cycling, if the progesterone levels are really low, they're going to experience those mood swings, the anxiety, the depression. Uh, Progesterone also helps us sleep at night. So a lot of women will experience insomnia. They can't sleep. Also, when there's higher levels of estrogen, what happens is it increases this hormone called prostaglandin, which is a chemical that causes inflammation in our body and helps our uterus to contract so we can release that endometrium and have our period. But estrogen increases inflammation, causes more of those prostaglandins to be released, and causes really severe menstrual cramps. So if you are curled up on the couch or have to go to the ER, spending your Friday night in the ER because of those severe menstrual cramps, that is not normal. And that too is also another sign of estrogen dominance. So I got a little tickle. So the fourth symptom is breast tenderness. And that's because, again, with estrogen, it causes increase of the breast tissue. It causes that breast tissue to swell. So when women are feeling tender, swollen breasts right before their period, that's from estrogen dominance. But also as women start going through menopause, we'll start to develop like fibrocystic breasts. That too is from that excess estrogen. And then the last symptom is the weight gain that we've been talking about. And it's interesting because when we look at weight gain and the distribution of weight in the body, when we look at weight gain in the abdomen, we can pinpoint it to, okay, high cortisol,
Right.
insulin resistance. But with estrogen dominance, when there's a lot of estrogen, remember in puberty, we get the curves. So when we're gaining a lot of weight, it's going to go in the butt, hips, and thighs. So that's probably like the most telltale sign. When women are gaining a lot of weight in the butt, hips, and thighs, we know that's from estrogen dominance.